All right, boys, how well done?
Spectacular.
Outstanding.
Good. Tam, feeling all right? You going to make it through?
Aye. Don't know what you're talking about.
I'm going to make a personal plea to begin with. Every podcast I listen to is sponsored by that Manscaped thing. I need one of them. As you'll have noticed, I don't have a beard. And it was a confusion over this shaves your face, this shaves somewhere else. And I was like, no! Shave my beard. Literally reverse Mohican right the way up my face. And I was like, oh no! So, it's still me. It is not the 15-year-old me that's here on work experience. But there we go. Welcome back to This Is My Story podcast, your unofficial Hearts podcast. All of the opinions are our own and always fucking rubbish. So there we go. Early start to let you know how the podcast for the new season's going to go. Ando, how's your week been? How's your weekend?
My weekend was delightful. I think I only probably sobered up for work this morning, really. I had a rare old time over the weekend, as you'll have probably heard from my dulcet tones on the live reaction on Saturday night. But aye, no, all good here.
Kev, do you need us to remind you that you watched Hearts beat Celtic and you were part of the live reactions, or do you just want to jump straight on to trying to get some free rum?
No, I think if we can get some free rum, that would be fantastic.
I forgot.
Only things I can remember is that we did beat them 2-1, and I called out my wee nephew for saying that John Suter was pish.
Aye, that was true, and I was heavy convinced you didn't even have a nephew. I just thought it was the rum talking. But there you go. Tam, how are you feeling?
Voice is still recovering from Saturday night.
Your hands must have been red raw. Oh, that happy clapping, man. What a day you had.
What a day for happy clapping, by the way.
Mate,
I
how's your
felt like
packed
one of
lunchbox?
the
Any
many.
space on it?
I got quite a few sign-ins. I arrived right as the players were coming out, so I got a few selfies with my favourite heroes, and it was a great day.
And then Shanks, you finally put your hands down. I mean, just stuck like that since Saturday. It's everywhere you've went. Yes, just yeah.
Some feeling, just not to be miserable for a while. Hey, I've got a question. If you've manscaped your face, does that mean your balls still look like Darren Jackson's?
Aye. Mate, that's exactly the bottom half of your chin is what's happening down there. right this very second. So we need Manscape if you're listening. We need involved, man.
Sorry, you bust me with that. Does your downstairs look like Darren Jackson's head? That's class. That's class.
It's like a button mushroom that's fell in a barbershop flare. That's what we're dealing with. Like, what a week. Even more, I didn't realise how much I would enjoyed Saturday, other than the win, which was great, but all the conspiracy theories you forget come out when one of the old firm loses. It's great, man. Absolute brilliant. The amount of... My favourite thing is there's a guy, I think he's from England, that does like framed pictures of goals that are like just like so that it's cut like maroon dots on a green field with like iconic commentary or something, and he put a thing up of being like whatever Ian Crocker's commentary was for Suter's header being like retweeting you a chance to win it. And it wasn't even Saturday, it wasn't Sunday, it was yesterday at about, this is Tuesday, it was about 10:15 at night. I looked on my notification, I had a notification on Twitter, and I looked and it was a Celtic fan who'd tweeted on it being like, "Have you made one for when Halliday should have been sent off and we scored an offside goal?" I was like, please make that poster. I would love that. Just a wee maroon dot and then a wee green dot and then, why have you not made one of these for Halliday's red card? Fucking brilliant, man. Absolutely superb. I love the fallout when they get beat.
The Halliday and Bobby Madden being pals on the open goal is amazing too. I love that.
Yeah, it was good. I did like that part as well. That was good stuff. We'll talk about stuff like that later on as well. Cool. As always, you can catch us and keep in touch with us on all the social medias, obviously YouTube. This will be on there later in the week. You can get us on your usuals. Twitter is at This My Story Pod. You can get in contact with us via the website, which is admin@thismystorypod.uk. That's right, isn't it? So,
Yes, aye.
and
Aye,
Instagram.
admin at thisismystory.uk. Yeah.
And
So
this
no,
is-
it wasn't right.
Did it? I'm saying I didn't even listen. I was too busy looking at that part of my screen. I didn't hear what you said. My bad.
I'm sure I got it right, man. I'm sure I got it right. The only
No
people
one cares.
the only people that email us is Petra K and my dad, so we'll be sounding.
Oh,
Brad's
that's
isn't
right.
on the night,
Yeah.
so Petra's not watching. So there you go. And then you can get on us at Instagram, which is This Is My Story 1874. That's right, Shanks, isn't it?
Probably, man.
Probably.
It's on the screen. It says it there.
It is
Yes,
on the agenda
It is
to
right.
come.
Smash that button over there.
I smashed the likes. Like and subscribe, man.
Give us a like and subscribe. That's right.
Since we're talking about Instagram, we'll go to our resident absolute creep of Instagram. Shanks, rumours, what's happening? Nando wiped everything. We're off his Tinder bio. We're off his Instagram. True, false, confirm.
Slavers. Nando
Slavers.
never had anything on his Instagram about Hearts. He's got a Blackpool video from 2 years ago, and anything about Hearts was him just singing the Steps album on his story. So, kick back our waffling pish.
Right, okay. And can you confirm what did John Suter have for his dinner the night? Does he not post it on Instagram? Is he not one of them?
Yeah, dickhead, man. I've no idea. Probably something really healthy. Herbalife.
Is he punting that, do you reckon?
No, I'm trying to remember the
Buying-
name of that player that was the
Buying it from
Gallagher.
Ross Callaghan.
Aye, there you go.
I find it really weird that you actually know. I'm looking at his wee hanging out, and that the only thing about football is a video for Blackpool 2 years ago. That's so strange that you know that straight off the top of your head.
Why do you think we went to Shanks? He's the resident Instagram creep. That's what you
Aye.
want. It's the only thing he brings to the podcast.
Have you seen Mikey Pospisil's misses lately?
Ooh,
Still banging?
no. Is it interesting?
Look it up.
She got an
Excellent. Will
OnlyFans.
do.
She's got an OnlyFans discounts.
Discounts are on the go. Let's get it going. That's what we want. Cool. So this week, obviously, we'll go through the usual stuff. We've got new feature for Shanks. We'll have our fantasy football update and the predictor update. Go through some of the headlines for the week as it stands. The news, we'll just touch on it briefly. The news about fans and being allowed in, not being allowed in, council still being in charge. We'll have a wee bit of, we'll look back on what was the glorious Saturday, beating Celtic, and we'll preview St Mirren on Saturday. Aye, that's pretty much everything in it, lads. Have I missed anything?
Yeah, we're all good with that.
Cool. So before we dive into else, again, we did say it on Saturday, I just wanted to have a massive shout out to Fraz McDonald for taking the Zal flag as well. It looked absolutely class. So massive thanks to Fraz, and fuck the baldy guy in the middle that would not let it go over his head.
I know, what a complete arse piece.
Aye, whoever that guy is, he can get fucked. But aye, well done. And Tam, you can get a pat in the back too for putting the flag in an IKEA bag.
Yeah, it's bloody heavy to carry a couple of streets down the road, by the way.
Mate, see, just for everybody, how many sleepless nights did you have? How many times did you practice talking to the steward about getting that flag in?
Like, honestly, I was like, I'm going to say it. I've got this all lined up. Didn't even bat an eyelid. I didn't give a fuck. Just seen my maroon IKEA bag and was like, batter in, son. Go and do what you want.
Get a pat down for a Capri Sun though, but you
You can't get Capri Sun in, but you get a big 50-foot flag in.
Actually, thinking about that, they didn't even look at the flag. There could have been all the flares. I could have taken all the flares.
What size are you 32 waist still? Or are you-
we get flooded with offers to take that flag.
I've told you this before, and I don't even care about it. We used to have a flag for the bus that we used to leave for the Copperton Hearts one, and for the semi-final against Hibs, the 4-0, we got the flag, wrapped up all our bevy inside it, and sneaked it into Hampden, no problem at all. That was like, I think we lost the flag after that game, but I found the bevy, so that was absolutely fine. But aye, massive thanks to Fraz, thanks to everybody that helped as well get the flag out. We were going to touch on it later, but might as well now because it's a good point. you'll have seen on our social medias today as well that we've officially donated the rest of the money to M&D Scotland on behalf of Big Zal. So again, for everybody in the podcast, thanks to every single person that donated the money, genuinely blew us away. And you've seen M&D Scotland have retweeted it and spoke as well that money could, that makes a big difference to them. So well done, everybody. Thanks a lot for supporting it as well. So cheers.
Yeah,
Thank you,
definitely.
yeah.
Good. Right. Fantasy football. Just because I'm top of the league, talk us through a predictor for this week. How did fantasy football go last week? Ando.
I'll be honest, I don't know how fantasy football went last week, but I can tell you that in terms of the predictor, I'm top out of all us mugs. Just on alphabetical difference, I've got 2 points. So have Kevin Tam, and the rest of you have got fuck all. But the shout outs to the 5 guys that actually got maximum points for the Celtic game. So D. John Begg, Michael Lynn, Robert Gill, and Scott MacArthur, all taking maximum points. They sit atop the league.
And I
Predictions are now open.
Love their burgers as well, so well done, lads.
Fair enough.
Try to work out. Wait till Tam figures it out. Look. Can you get there? Get in there?
Shanks, any help?
How bad was that pizza, man?
Shanks doesn't get any help.
Right, okay, just
Fine, let's
we
move
should
on.
probably tell everyone. Tam's no well tonight, but we'll come to that probably later in the show when he has to dive off camera for anyone watching on YouTube. So round 2 predictions are now open. That's the match versus St Mirren, and then you've got bonus points as well for the extra question. So I head over to the website, so www.thisismystory.uk/predictor. Register if you haven't already, and make sure that your predictions are in at least 10 minutes before kick-off on Saturday. And for the fantasy football, I've done what I normally do with fantasy football, which is create a team and then probably never look at it again for the rest of the season. But I have heard, Corbett, that you've done quite well this week, so you can probably elaborate
Potentially.
and tell us where we all are.
It's fine. I don't like to gloat. I'm not. You know what I'm like. I'm no vain in the slightest, so I didn't know what to talk about or that. I'm a shy and retiring type. Right. Cool. Thank you all. You got it yet, Tam? Shanks.
I'll get on the edit tomorrow.
You got an edit. They said 5 guys that are top of the league.
Oh, right, okay.
Do you know what I mean?
They're opening a 5 guys in Livy soon, actually.
No one cares. No one cares.
No one
You
cares.
you ruined my moment. I'm ruining yours. No one cares.
Livy's a shithole.
Beep. Right. So obviously, with new season, we'll be returning to some of our favourite features. We'll have new features as well. But this week, we've got a new feature that we're always looking forward to because it involves Shanks. So what we're calling it this week, we're going to call it Shanks I Can't Remember. And what's the idea? Do you want to talk everybody through what the idea is, or do you want me to talk them through what it is?
You should talk them through it because it's my interpretation of what you sent me 2 months ago, which would be absolute pish.
So here's what happened. We told Shanks he had to get a new feature because apparently Shanks McCann, where he described Hearts players, he'd run out of Hearts players that he knew. So 12, I think there's 2,000 or something that had ever played for Hearts or something, but
Yep.
Shanks had run out after about 12 players. So we said, well, why don't you do the same idea, but you describe football matches involving Hearts, and we, or yous on the socials or whatever, try and guess if they can get the game right. Is that what you've done, or have you done something totally different?
That's what I've done, except I've done 3 games, so you're in for a treat.
All right. Yes, right, class.
Here we go.
Right,
Strap yourself in.
here we go. Shanks, I can't remember. Let's have it.
Shanks, I can't remember. I can't remember these. And there's 3 games. I'll give you a wee flavour of what happened to me, and not very much about football, to be quite honest. And you need to guess what I'm slavering about. So, game number 1. Not even a pre-car park half bottle of Buckfast could have made this one bearable. And it didn't. Most embarrassing performance for a generation. Started shite. The boys picked a mixed boozer away from home. So there's a wee clue. Keeper was criminal. Second half from hell. Even saying that we made them look like PSG was not enough to get him sacked, and I've not looked at a carbonara the same since.
Right.
I stood next to Kev game, which made it even.
Question: was I on this trip?
Nope.
No, but I think I was.
Kev dragged me
Okay.
on this trip.
Right. And that doesn't matter. It's not for us. It's for the viewers who are viewers. Oh, cut that.
Viewers.
Cut that out.
Nah, we're keeping it. You've
that
went
out.
full wank.
Just say fans.
Viewers
just
and
say fans
listeners.
next time.
The fans.
Aye,
The fans.
The fans deserve it, man.
It's for the audience.
Game number 2. A past hero of the podcast, although not mine, sent a bullet top corner from 25 yards to open things up. This is the last game that I got excited and carried away at halftime. We were second in injury time, and it went from bad to worse a week later.
Okay.
Game number 3.
Don't know why you would even bring that game up.
I did say we were going down a few levels here. We get the theme of these 3 games. Game number 3. Drove through midweek with my mum, scudded my alloy off a curb in a housing scheme, got sat behind a pillar, got led out by our caretaker boss, then John Underhill sent off our striker 25 minutes in. Thought it was going to end 0-0. It was their final hurrah, and they capped it off by bagging a winner in the 90th minute. Even I applauded it. There was 1,090 in attendance. Majority of them were Jambos. I've never got back along the M8 quicker. That one's a wee complicated one.
Did your mum enjoy the game though?
I fucked them, I never asked her.
Right, I'll just come right out and say it. I've got nothing on any of them.
Oh wow, really? No.
Genuinely not.
Corbett's
I've
got
written down some stuff here. I've got nothing.
I'm just worrying. I think we should cut out the fact you said you went to the football with your ma. Or I'll get somebody to voice over saying something like Danny Dyer.
Steve Banks.
Steve Banks.
Couldn't convince anybody else to go to this game on a Wednesday night.
Right, cool. As always, we'll put them on. We'll put them on the socials, and you can. I'm just picturing how they're going to look on the picture, like a paragraph each, man. A paragraph, and then a picture of you as Britney Spears again. But we'll see how we get them to work on social media. But you'll see them on Twitter, and then answers on a postcard, as always. Mind that time I sent you a postcard, Tam?
It was class. I can't remember what was included in it.
What did you ask? What question did? Oh, you said this just to sum you up. If people that listened didn't realise what a massive wank you are, this already. This sums it up even more. You put on Twitter saying, what was it? Are mini cheddars, crisps, or biscuits? Answers on a postcard, please. And I sent you a postcard. There was a picture of me with my curtains holding the Scottish Cup in it.
Aye, and it had Gary O'Connor crying in it.
More importantly, though, what was your answer? Are they crisps or biscuits?
I think they're classed as biscuits, aren't they, Tom?
I think your answer was they're actually a cracker. So you're wrong completely.
It was something total random. I'm sure you still have the picture. We can put it on the social medias. But that is the type of person you're dealing with. Shanks, what excuse did I pretend I was using to get his address again? I made something pure up about having to send him an invite for something or something like that to get his address.
He was getting free tickets to something. I totally fell for it.
It was Corbett's wedding.
If anybody wants Tam's address, just ask me.
I just ask you. You hand it anyway.
Or if you want to send me free tickets, I'm all for that.
Oh, you see, you and free stuff, man. It's getting boring. It's getting boring. Can you just pay for something once, please?
He's paying for that pizza that he ordered the night.
Hey! Yes, there we go. That's it. Thanks for tuning in. See you on next week. Or no peak for that. Cool. We'll dive into headlines for the week. We've just touched on them there as we record this right now, which is 25 minutes to midnight on Tuesday. Hearts Twitter is alight with nonsense that Ando is chucked it because he was asked to pay the bill at Pizza Express or something with Walker, and he's threw his boots at the waitress and has left. And Lauren Shanklin is on the motorway right now to replace him. So, thoughts on it? Anybody care?
Well, I'm all in favour. If it was as simple as that, then yeah, fine. I don't mind. Nando's only scored 5 goals for us. See you later. If it means we get Shankland.
Shanklin only scored 8 last season, but I've still got confidence in him. I'd take him. Imagine him and Boyce. That would be class.
No, well, my thing is, it depends what he got at Pizza Express, which made them kick off, because that's a big thing about it. But it seems like total nonsense, doesn't it? It's people, like you said earlier, Shanks, people are saying, oh, he's deleted all his stuff off his Instagram. Like, well, actually didn't have any Heart stuff on his Instagram anyway. So he can't have deleted that. And I think it's like you said, it's 2 + 2 = 6 for folk.
You know what it is?
It
This
is.
whole summer we've not had any rumours of any sort. So any little thing we just need to bounce on because we missed it. So
It is just ridiculousness. I mean, it's almost like saying that he stormed off the pitch because Tam was there in the crowd, happy clapping him, and the fecal mist emanating from Tam's ass just blew across his nose, and that was it. He's like, nah, I'm no working in these situations. I'm away. Bye.
He's sick of signing that pack lunchbox, man. He's like, you can't get any more signatures on it.
I'll just slide into his DMs and ask them now. You're raging, aye?
How you feel? You feeling, mate? Aye. You're raging. Sloppy Giuseppe or whatever it's called to Pizza Express running through you. You're out of here. That's just, seems like total nonsense to me, to be honest with you. Again, the Shanklin thing comes up every season, doesn't it? Every season it comes up that he's potentially coming. Jason Cummings is signing. Lafferty's coming back. It just seems like you said, folk are just getting bored because there's literally no leaks from Tynecastle. So there we go.
He couldn't afford Shankland in terms of his actual transfer fee, man.
Well, again, it's one of those lessons that folk need to learn, especially the weir clubs, is that you've got to strike when the iron's hot with these things. People come in. Look at even Celtic. Do you know what I mean? Celtic have, what, did they turn down 12, 15 million pounds for Incham? And now he's walked out the door for nothing. You'll have a situation with Shankland where people were talking about him going for 4, 5, 6 million. Now he's probably going to sign a pre-contract with somebody and sign for them in the summer. So these things never go away, but I don't think Shankland will ever be anything other than just sort of good in the Championship, innit?
Aye, but
he's like Dennis Weiner say Dundee United, man.
Aye. What are you going to say, Kev?
I was just going to say, I believe he's out of contract next year. So you sometimes find that any player that's out of contract, and there's only maybe one full transfer window, i.e. the one that we're in just now, before he can sign a pre-contract. So sometimes you will find rumours getting flung about that more from the other team or the other club who are maybe trying to sell him or trying to get him to commit to a new deal. Something like that can sometimes just be blown out of all proportion by opposing fans, us especially.
Aye. So just like you said, it just gets to the end of the transfer window where all these stupid rumours start or whatever. So it'd still be interesting. I still think Hearts are probably looking to bring in 1 or 2 before the end of the transfer window. I'll be Shankland is one of them. In other transfer news, Demore's away. Pretty decent. We're not celebrating too much though, as I believe we are actually still paying his wage.
Yeah.
80%, is it?
We'll pay some of it.
Aye, but I think we're paying a very, very high percentage of it, which is a joke. But suppose the good thing is we've got to trust the process. We've been face to face. We've looked in the whites of his eyes, and Savage says that these things will change. Again, he said that the guys that we're looking in are going to be quality over quantity, and as Benny proved on Saturday, touchwood, he looks like an absolutely class addition. So we can only take it at face value that we will learn for these things. But fuck me, what a heavy price to learn, man.
Mm-hmm.
Get him away. And then we touched on it there about the paranoia, but the absolute fallout to the Andy Halliday red card, Celtic onside offside goal's been absolutely sensational, isn't it?
Beautiful.
Get me entertained.
I think Andy Halliday's explanation on open goal today sums it up. I think it's yellow card at worst, to be honest with you. I think it looks bad because it's slowed down, and Halliday was on the end of a equally as bad challenge for Sorrow or whatever. And in fact, who cares? It was a leg breaker. It was brilliant. I wish he had broke his leg. It'd have been superb. The fact that he's getting Valentine's cards off Bobby Madden makes it even better. That's what you want, and I absolutely love the hysteria when they get beat. It's the best. It's the absolute best. Any
to
other?
be honest with you, the official, it's like it was targeting Celtic. Like,
Tam, that's too sensible. No, it's not. They're
Well,
Huns,
okay, sorry.
they're Huns
Sorry,
or Masons or whatever it is they want to call the officials.
it's weird
That's
that
what-
like one club wanted to do a review of the SFA last year and Celtic said
Aye,
no.
folks said
But-
no. Aye, I do remember
Aye.
that. And you did say after the game, do you remember when you were getting your packed lunch signed, you said that Halliday jumped in Madden's car, wasn't it? You got a lift through. The game
They were
with
holding
Bobby
hands
Madden.
to go back to the car.
Aye, that was
Something going on there, like. I
Aye,
don't know
that's
what
what
it
you said. Like, that's what you said. So that was good to see. Any other fallout from the game that you've particularly enjoyed?
I don't know if it's fallout rather than falling over, but I did quite enjoy Andy Halliday's Twitch account on Saturday night when he was absolutely Saturday night, absolutely reeking drunk. I've never really tuned into Twitch before, but somebody sent me a link, and it was quite comedy value. So I don't know
Imagine
if it's still up
getting
there,
reeking.
but go back and look at it. It's pretty close to the edge. It's good fun.
Imagine getting reeking and doing some sort of live broadcast thing on the
I
internet.
know.
Aye, who would
What
ever
an
say that,
asshole.
Never say that. At least
Right,
we've never.
Kev?
Aye, at least we've never stooped to drinking beer Amaretti out of Balenciaga. Here, actual Shanks. Now, this is the type of shoe you'd drink out, wouldn't it?
Yeah, hold on the now.
You'd be sitting pouring your beer in there, trying to down it.
Hold on the now. I've
You get a
I've
face,
recently
you get
acquired my wee Balenciaga £12.50 Zara's out of TK Maxx, so get that right up you.
Aye, that was good. They are my thing. You enjoy the game, the emotion, the fact Suter scored 90th minute winner and all that, and great fans back. You love all that. We'll live off that for ages, but then you do just love the absolute tears and snotters that come out of that football club. It's the best. It is the absolute best thing kicking about. So the only other headline this week is today we are like level 0+1 or something for some fucking strange reason. We're still living with restrictions even though the rest of the world is going back to normal. We'll not turn this into a political podcast, but where they have to talk about. So basically the government shat the bed, said that it's up to the council to decide how they deal with sporting events in their jurisdiction. So basically we're looking at 5,000 fans for the rest of the season because Edinburgh City Council seem hell-bent on making an absolute cunt of this.
Can I wait till the first Scotland rugby game and watch it be 60,000?
They'll get to go in.
Aye.
They'll get to go in. The
100%.
Anguses and the Ferguses, they'll get to go with their Timbies on and their boot. Shanks, you'll love it. It'll be like a summer oil again for you. You can sing, yes sir, I can boogie, Super John McGinn with your Timbies on and that. You'll be absolute, what a day.
Don't
Get
fuck
the
up with
calendar
him.
up.
Don't mute him.
No, they're making a good point. But then the whole point, what if Hibs make it through the next couple of rounds, whatever Tim Pot UEFA competition they're in, and they end up playing a bunch of Croatian taxi drivers? They're gonna want a full house, and they'll probably get it because, well, that's tourism coming into Edinburgh, isn't it? They'll say fine to that, but they'll not want anyone else from anywhere over Scotland. It's just it's shit. We'll end up getting the raw end of this deal.
Well,
It's our fault because we actually had some tourists there at the weekend, and instead of welcoming them, we chased them all the way down Gorgie Road. So we're not going to be able to play that card.
that was a good
Fair
chase.
point.
That was a good chase, and I liked that. So the sensible stance is, or this is where they're coming from now. So basically, what they're saying is that the council or the football club will have to apply for special, whatever they call it, to allow us to have a full house, and that means that we have to have a bulletproof plan in place for exiting and entering the stadium, sanitation stations, all the type of stuff that you should never, ever, ever have to worry about in football. But that is the world that we live in right now. And then basically the council decide whether or not it's good enough plan and all that, and then they decide ultimately how many people you're allowed in. So as we said last week, having spoken to the club, the official COVID capacity that the council and the club or whatever have come to the agreement of in terms of meter spacing and all that is 9,000. Then they decided that it's actually should be closer to 6,000. And then what they've said is that we're allowed a percentage of the official capacity. So for the League Cup games, it was like 30 or 40%, and then it's been 50%, and for Aberdeen it'll go to 75% or whatever. So if we continue down that stupid road, it's looking like the next game after Aberdeen will be Hibs, which will be 100% of our COVID capacity, which is 6,900 or something shite like that. So here's hoping that we tweeted the club today to say, like, be fully transparent with the fans, because one of you, the council or the football club, are going to get absolute dog's abuse depending on if common sense doesn't break out and they say you can have a full stadium. Well, we watch Celtic Park be full, Ibrox be full, Motherwell have fans in, and we are stuck with 6,000. The club will have to be like, look, this is what we applied for, this is why the council, or the club are just going to get battered with mental Hearts fans being like, you've not done enough. So hopefully common sense breaks out. But then, as I say that, I'm realising that we're talking about Edinburgh Council and common sense. So let's just
forget it.
Aye,
You're going to hold your breath for that.
Aye, let's just leave it at that. Shanks, what were you going to say?
Quick one. So, in terms of the ballots, then, so we were kind of hoping that these would come and go quite early on in the season. So, some of us on the podcast have been fortunate enough to get tickets for every fucking game so far, and some of us haven't had a bolt. So, those of us that got Celtic tickets probably are going to miss out against Aberdeen. So, I'll actually get to go. But then, does it come back round again? So don't worry, Shanks, you're going to go and see Aberdeen and then Livy in September. But everybody that was successful for a Celtic ticket gets Celtic and then Hibs. Do you know, I'd be interested to see how the ballot system is going to work in that regard. And it's not an envious task of the club, because they're in the same boat as us, right? They want everybody back in. But they're going to need to be transparent on how that's going to work, because that's how it's going to be perceived by that second wave of fans that get in next time, and then again miss out on the Hibs game. Or is it reset at the end of each ballot?
No,
So my understanding is that a ballot, by definition, is you've got, as tombola, it's names in a hat, right? You take the names out of the hat, and then when it comes time to the next game, all those names go back into the hat again. It's not derivative.
I spoke to the ticket office
It's a weighted ballot though, so
they said that once you've been successful for the league game, so I know the cup was different. Once you've been successful for a league game, people that haven't had success are given priority. So I wonder then if we put those two together, that's pretty much how many season tickets we've sold. So after the Aberdeen game, do we go back to square one and then it's a luck of the draw, or do you know, is that the cycle in which we go around?
Well, in an ideal world, that's what's supposed to happen, but that's not that is not what's happening right now. You have people that have missed out on all three. You have people that have had all three so far, or all four, however many there's been.
People that have opted out.
My understanding is that it's not the club that are running the ballot; it's Ticketmaster. It's Ticketmaster that are running or looking after the whole ballot process, because it's Ticketmaster that deal with our match day tickets and all that sort of stuff. So it's whatever process they have, whatever system they have, it's Ticketmaster that are responsible for maintaining and looking after the whole ballot system, is my understanding from speaking to the club. But hopefully the ballot gets fucked in the bin, because we're all going to get to go. That's the ideal thing. And I think now, in my Liam Corbett, not This Is My Story podcast opinion, is that we've waited patiently enough now. I'm not pissing about anymore. I've watched 80,000 at Wembley 3 days apart. I've watched 60,000 at Wembley. I've watched 23,000 at Ibrox. I've watched full house at Ibrox for next week when they play Malmo. Hearts fans are getting in the stadium. Whether that means we put pressure on the council or we put pressure on the club. I'm sick of waiting. We've kept the clubs afloat. We've bought merch. We've bought streams. We've bought into everything. Now's the time to start rewarding those fans. It's time to start paying us back and getting us in the stadium. And I didn't want to get off about it and all that sort of stuff, but genuinely the club have to take a battle to say that if the council are not playing ball with us, we need to know about it. We need to know about it because we need to understand why we are being treated differently to other fans in the country, because it's not fair. So that's where we are. So hopefully by next time or next week we'll have a little bit more of an understanding or a little bit more information as to where we stand in terms of the Hibs game. And the other good news today that since I've been speaking to the club is we have arranged hopefully to get a sit down with the club to discuss sort of potential displays for the derby in terms of tifo and all that sort of stuff, as we spoke about before, and then potential creating singing sections, safe standing sections in the future, all that sort of stuff. So when I have that information and once we've spoken, if there's anything I can share, I'll share it on the podcast as and when we get that. Cool. So might as well just, even though we done it on Saturday, we spoke about it as again, but why not? Let's just talk about the Celtic game one more time before we talk about St Mirren. Why not? Why not? It's still glorious, isn't it? How many times have you rewatched the wee highlights?
I've watched the full game again today. As I was chatting to Kev about it pre-show, just to make sure that I was fully informed. I took time out from work today to sit and watch the full thing, and it was joyous for the last 10 minutes and the first 10 minutes. Everything in between, a bit of a mixture.
Right. Well, we have all had our opinion on it because we were on the live show. Tam, you were actually there. Talk us through it. What was it like?
It was class. In terms of atmosphere, it was absolutely brilliant. Like, I know we went to the League Cup games and it was nice to get a wee bit of clapping, and there was that one song that we sang, but it was fucking constant. There was a wee bit of booing as well, which we love a wee boo as a Hearts fan, which was great. There was a Nielsen out shouts when we were 1-1 and sitting too deep, and it was all the emotions in 90 minutes, like everything you want. Aye, exactly that.
I didn't realise Corbett was at the game.
Genuinely, it was all over as well where I was sitting. It was there wasn't just a minority of people shouting it, to be fair, but no, it was to be fair to Nielsen, he got it right with the changes he made when he brought Haring on and Angeli on. It did change the game and got us back into it, so fair play up there.
You listen to Andy Halliday talk about the game as well. You know, they've said that, you know, your natural reaction when you go 1-0 up is sort of, oh no, we've got something to hold on to type thing. And then he said that, you know, the plan was always to sort of be 5-2-3. You know, let them have the ball and engage. They're not going to do us any damage passing the ball around the back and in the midfield and stuff, which is fine, and on paper that's cool, and we got away with 1-1, but we need to be a lot sharper than what we were. Ando, you'll have seen that. You've just watched the game back as well, but there was long periods at the time where we were really sloppy in possession. We were not really engaging and stuff as well, but again, who cares? I've said it a million times before. I've watched Hearts managers try and play. We've been through the Ian Cathro and Austin McPhee's phases where they're treating it like American football, and they're trying to have phases of play for throw-ins and set plays, and you've got Craig Levein that's trying to be too fancy for the players that he has. And you know, I will take Hearts playing shite and winning every day of the week. I think is a massive plus point for Saturday for me.
Absolutely, like with 26% of the possession, but you look at the scoreline and you're like, who gives a fuck, really?
Who cares? No one cares. Nobody goes back and goes, oh, we only had 86, we have only 24% possession. I think the 1998 cup final, I think we had less than 30% possession, but we won the cup and we went home, so who gives a fuck? Ando.
Just the only thing, just after watching it back today, there's just a couple of things that I want to draw out, and yeah, they are criticisms, but it's just me being, I suppose, a bit nitpicky, is that if you look at most of the game, our touch under pressure needs work. right? So see, whenever we've got the ball and being chased down by a Celtic player in this case, it's just a case of, oh fuck it, bang it, and it goes wayward, right? That absolutely needs tightened up. And then
that used to be my philosophy in Club Earth.
The only other bit was that, see, when there was like several occasions, again, never really noticed it at the time, but on the watch back, whenever we were breaking up the park, the ball was aimless. It was like, I know we're trying to play that ball over the top to try and break quickly, but half the time, I said, 80% of the time, it just didn't work. And that's something we need to tighten up on for matches against big teams like this. But that's it. It's my only criticism. The rest of it, absolutely joyous.
Tam, how was Benny in the flesh? Did he look good?
I thought he was brilliant. I was texting you half time and stuff saying he was great. Kev said something about him looking like a rabbit in the headlights, and I was ready to fight Kev.
Kev was nine rums deep, man.
Nah, but there was a few points he kind of took a wee bit of getting into the game, but see, once he kind of got his action, he was all over the pitch. See, just like, you didn't always see it on the camera, but like, just in terms of constant pressure he was putting it on the other players and that, it was brilliant.
Tony Sibic-esque, wasn't it?
Honestly, it was kind of like his debut, actually, to be fair to you. Can't wait to see.
Glandular fever and he'll not play for you. Is that what's coming next, is it?
I was listening to Sports Scene on the way home after the game. Tom English said he could be the best signing in the whole league this season. I'm like, don't know about that, but he was pretty up there. Like,
I'll make it easy for you. Tell me one thing he done wrong the entire game, because as I say, I've watched it back now. I can't see him put a single foot wrong throughout the 90 minutes. There's nothing that he done wrong.
Kev, what number was he wearing?
4.
Nope.
Correct.
6.
Yep.
6. 4 suitor.
Aye,
no. All I meant when I said he was like a little bit rabbit caught in the headlights was more about the intensity of the game. You know, in England you do get that little bit of more time on the ball. You don't get that in Scotland, and I think that was one thing that maybe didn't expect. But I think he did. He looked absolutely superb on the ball. I think John Collins also said he could be the best signing across Scottish football.
He said that in my WhatsApp group as well. Let's move on. More of the same. I think we'll set up slightly differently. V St Mirren. I don't mean that in shape. I just mean in terms of, I think we'll be more getting on the ball and all that sort of stuff on Saturday. So we'll go round and see preview for the St Mirren game. Shanks, what do you know about St Mirren?
There was some bald wank that used to play for them up front.
Really
Irish
nice.
boy. Aye, hated him. We didn't win there ever. It's a pishy wee stadium.
Yep.
We're probably not going to win on Saturday.
All factual.
Have you been in the new one?
Aye, it's worse than the old one.
Oh, they also they loaned their stadium out to Celtic all the time, and they actually put up big Celtic signs. See, I can't fucking loads about Paisley. Carry on. Next.
I was actually talking more about like who we could be playing up against. What formation did they play?
Well, actually, they had a really solid turn at the weekend. They drew 2-2 against Dundee, and I think that they managed to keep Charlie Adam quite quiet. So I think they'll be a well organised outfit. And I'm just going to waffle some Mikey Stewart pish for the next 30 seconds. So move on to somebody else. It'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see what you think we're going to go out there and be. I don't think we sat in. I don't think we looked reserved there against Celtic. I thought we had a bit of swagger. Definitely in the channels, Cochrane, GMS, Mikey Smith ran the show. It'll be interesting to see if we do get forward as much. If they'll let us play. I feel like we'll be stifled a wee bit, and we'll end up trying to adapt to their game. I think our shape will fall apart, and we'll come away with a wee 1-1.
Well, that was inspiring.
That was inspiring.
Did you hear that, Shanks? I can't remember.
folk has to remember as well that Shanks literally watched about 10 minutes combined of the Celtic game, which is why he thinks we were attacking and playing hangway when we had about 3 attacks the whole match.
I genuinely cannot wait to get back to actual football stadiums because I just can't watch it on the telly. I always end up getting railroaded into doing something else in the house and miss both goals. But Scott said they were good, so.
Tam, how do you see Saturday?
I think Saturday's the bigger challenge, to be fair, than Saturday there. We've proved in the last few years that we can kind of go against the big teams, but the real test is going against these wee ones and picking up points. And St Mirren, to be fair to them, have signed well over the last summer. Everyone's tipping them to be a wee bit of a dark horse this year, so I think it's going to be a tough game. I don't really know how they line up or anything like that. I think they play a free at the back as well, so might be quite interesting in that basis.
They said the same shit about St Mirren last year, and they finished outside the top 6 as they always do. But it's a fair point. I think in the past 2 seasons we've played in the top flight. I think teams we have beaten have been Aberdeen, Hibs, Celtic now, and Rangers. That's it. We haven't bet any of the other draws or anything in the league. So again, I agree with what you're saying, Tim. That's one of the things I had in my points was. The big challenge is, 1, we are notoriously bad away from home. 2, we have been notoriously bad against the lesser teams in the league. This is a big weekend for Hearts in terms of how we're going to attack the season. You look at, for example, Hibs are like the polar opposite from us. Terrible at home, but really good away from home. Hibs always pick up points at Motherwell or St Mirren or St Johnstone and all that, and then lose to them at home. We're the opposite. We're terrible on the road, but seem to do okay against these teams. So if we've got aspirations to be better than just, raise the game for Celtic and then day shite for the rest of the season, Saturday's massive for me. So, Ando, what's your thoughts on Saturday?
For me, quite simple. New Hearts, we're back. We're going away from home. 2-0 victory, comfortable. I genuinely don't see St Mirren causing us any problems at all. So yeah,
I'm going 6-0 then. Fuck it.
There he is. He's back.
Get that in on the predictor.
Kev.
I agree with what Ando says. We've got a whole new sort of look about us. There's maybe a little bit of an aura about us after the win on Saturday. We've shown that we've brought in some players, and having Suter back is brilliant. He just looks different class. The only player that I know that plays for St Mirren is the boy Brophy. I would hope that Suter or whoever can maybe keep him quiet. I don't know anybody else. But I love the fact that you're modelling their new shirt tonight.
I thought I'd wear it just to be that guy. They've got a couple of youngsters that are pretty good, pretty well thought of. They've got McGrath guy, and McCart, I think.
Yeah.
Both guys that are pretty highly rated that could potentially go for decent money as well. So I think St Mirren will be no joke, to be honest with you. I think they'll push to be in the top 6 this year. I think Jim Goodwin's a good coach. I like the way he plays football. I like the way he's got them playing or whatever. Hearts, though, like Ando said, we've got to have that bit of Joe Savage swagger. Like, you know what I mean? We've got to go and be like, you can't beat Celtic and then come off that and go lose at St Mirren. We have to put a marker down. So I'm hoping that we see sort of high intensity in their face Hearts rather than that sort of passive, keep the ball side to side nonsense that we see normally when we're away from him. So that's pretty good. Right, I know we do the predictions anyway, but we'll go around the table for predictions. So Shanks, you sticking with 1-1?
Aye, we'll scrape it 1-1.
Class. Damn.
1-0 Hearts.
I get it. Ando?
2-0 for Hearts.
Sticking with Kev.
I would 2-1. I believe that's what I've put on the predictor on the website.
I'm going Desmond. Maybe it's just mentalness for still being on a high for Saturday or whatever, but I can't see Hearts losing on Saturday. I just can't see it. So I'm going for a Desmond. There we go.
All right. Well, if you're going for a Desmond, I'll say that one of those goals will be Curtis Main, ex-Aberdeen striker, because
he
they've
plays
got
up
him.
Was that where he
Aye,
is?
Yeah,
It's
signed
Brophy
for
and
Shrewsbury Town or something, didn't
When
he? So
when was the last time we scored 2 goals away from home? Stato. Would it potentially be
The last time
Inter?
the last time we played away from home in the league game before COVID, could it be the 3 goals that we scored at Easter Road?
Yeah, Easter Road, mate. The last one. Remember you were there and Aaron Hickey scored.
Before that?
Aye, before that.
Easter Road doesn't count. Score for fun there.
All right.
Never score 2 goals away from home.
I'm sure we did last season.
the last time we scored 2 goals away from home, Peterhead, first game of the season, mate. League
Hey,
Cup.
fucking move on. You know what I mean? In the real, the
Okay.
Vida League.
Before that, Wraith Rovers, final game of the season last season, we won 4-0 away from home.
No, it would be. I think you're probably right. Outside of Hibs, where we always score, it probably is. Aye, St Johnstone 3-3. Aye, probably the last thing there. Right, well that's pretty much it. Unless there's anything else that's came out in the wash of the week that you want to talk about.
Yeah, all good.
Good. We'll get an outing for if the club have actually got it. We'll either wear the third kit or the new away kit on Saturday, I'd imagine. Since it's the first away game of the season. Potential. Not getting any fans though on Saturday, I don't think.
Nah, St Mirren are only allowed 1,000, so whatever council they're in is even worse than Edinburgh, to be fair.
They got 1,000 though.
Probably not. That's probably their season ticket holders.
Cool. Well, that's everything, boys. We will see you all live reaction after the match on Saturday.
We will.
Yep.
See you
See you all
later.
then.
Cheers.
Get out.